Hello, and thank you very much for joining me today. It's Alan Barry Laboucan with the Rocks and Stocks News website. Today, I'm going to talk to you about one of the most profitable trends that I've ever seen in the mining sector, and actually not just in the mining sector, but in all sectors that I follow, is the tax loss selling season trend. Oftentimes, because these companies are not overly liquid, they tend to get beaten down when people are trying to position themselves to take tax losses so they can write them off against their gains. So a lot of these stocks get hammered quite dramatically. And if you pick a quality group of companies and the gains are quite exceptional within about a 6-month period from now, just before Christmas, until the end of January, mid-February. In fact, somebody did an analysis one time on my past tax loss selling picks, and to get 50 to 100% gains in that period of time is quite normal. And so this trend works like clockwork. And what I try to pick is good quality companies that also have catalysts that can help them move forward. Now, one of those catalysts are gold itself. I think we're going to have a Santa Claus rally that will give it a good January effect. How it performs between January and the first week of from Christmas, just before Christmas until around the first week of January. If it's bullish in that period, gold tends to be bullish for January, and a good January reading is often where you'll see gold go over the long term or for the year. We've seen gold going sideways for most of this year, and meanwhile, all the monetary factors are pointing towards bullishness. There's crazy printing of money, crazy debt. Now inflation is kicking in dramatically. You see it every time you go shopping for something. The Federal Reserve can't do anything about it because there's so much debt out there on the consumers and the country that if they were to raise interest rates, they'd crush economic growth. They're not going to do that. So I expect 2022 to be an exceptional year for the price of gold. Now, early in the new year, I always do an outlook for the year ahead. So I'm going to have a bunch of picks for those as well. But these companies that I'm going to pick today on the tax loss selling shopping list, I expect them to do very well into January. So let's get started right on it. The first company I'm going to talk about today is Ridgeline Minerals. Their stock symbol is RDG. They have very good projects. One of their key projects is a partnership with Barrick Gold in Nevada. Barrick is doing a lot of drilling, and I'm hopeful that we'll see news out of that in January. They also have another good project called Selena. I think we'll see good news coming out of that in the early part of the year as well. They currently only have an $18 million valuation. Earlier in the year, they were trading at 70 cents. Right now, they're trading at 34 cents. So that's a 50% haircut from their top. They're trading right at their low. That's a perfect scenario for a tax loss selling company. RDG is one I like a lot. The next one I'm going to talk about is Sulcum and Minerals. Sulcum is a sponsor of my website, so they help me to be able to bring the shows together that I do and the work I do. So I'm very thankful for that. Sulcum and Minerals is drilling right now. They should have a lot of news in January. The stock was as high as 70 cents earlier this year, currently trading at 33 cents. With that factor of it being down dramatically and a lot of news going into January, I expect Sulcum, SIC is their stock symbol. I expect them to do very well for the January bounce as well. The next company I'm going to talk about is ROX is their symbol. Camstar is the name of the company. They've been doing a lot of good work in Newfoundland, back east, and I think that they're going to have good news in January as well. They had a high of about 58 cents, currently trading at 25 cents. They got a valuation that's $27 million. I like their chance to deliver some good news in the not too distant future. ROX is their symbol. Take a look at them. Next company up is a beaten down company with a high profile guy running the company. That's McEwen Mining. MUX is their symbol. They're a producer. They've been having good news, but the stock just can't gain any traction. They traded as high as about $1.90 earlier this year. They're currently trading at $1.17. What makes this equally compelling is that in addition to putting out good news, the potential to put out good news, just today, they did an update on one of their key assets, which is a copper project in South America. They had a great update, and the stock's up 2 cents, but it's really not much of a move. And I expect them to keep having good news out. And another one that I think will participate in the bounce after the tax loss selling is over. I think they're getting punished pretty good with the tax loss selling, but I like their chances to rebound into January and perform much better. The next company is Labrador. Labrador LAB is their stock symbol. These guys are in Newfoundland. They're not very far from Newfound Gold. That's a $7, $8 stock right now, trading at about a $1.3 billion valuation. These guys have the extension of a key package of rock that goes right through their project. They had a high earlier this year of about $1.70. Currently trading at 78 cents. They have a valuation of 120 million. They should have some good news out in January. I think this will also participate quite nicely in the rebound in January when companies start to have good news out. Next company I'm going to talk about is another sponsor of my website, which is I-80 Gold. I-80 Gold is a Nevada gold producer. They also have made a series of acquisitions, and good news, it brought their stock from $2 and let's say $2.50 back in September, and it popped up to about $3.40. Well, now it's back down to $2.87. But all of that good news is not really baked into the cake. And I think that once we get into the into January, get through this tax loss selling, I-80 Gold has had a tremendous news flow, and I expect that to continue into the early part of the new year. And that's another one for those that don't want as much, don't want to protect some of their downside risk. This is a really good one to look at. Okay. Excuse me. The next company I'm going to talk about is Galantis Gold. They're a recent sponsor of my website as well. Galantis Gold had a high of about 85 cents earlier this year. They have been going pretty much sideways during the tax loss selling period. So it's a bit of a counter trend. Instead of getting pressured down, they've just been going sideways. Meanwhile, they've been having some really good drill results. So I don't think any of those new drill results are baked into the cake. And as things get more optimistic in January, I think Galantis, GAL is their stock symbol. They currently have a $29 million valuation. They're in Ireland. I only ever picked one company in Ireland. And in fact, they were previous tax loss selling picks that did very well after the tax loss period was over. And ultimately, I picked them at about 25 cents, and they ended up getting bought out for about $500 million. I think Galantis is on the same kind of trajectory, and they'll have more news out in January. I talked to their CEO recently in an interview, and looks like they'll have lots of good news out as well. And the final company I'm going to talk about is Bell Copper. I just did an interview a couple days ago with the CEO of Bell Copper. I'm extremely bullish on copper, but finding good copper stories is challenging. One of the best jurisdictions in the world for big copper deposits is in Arizona. These guys are focused on 2 projects in Arizona. They're both being drilled right now. Both of them should be generating news in January and February. The company only has a $16 million valuation, but they're looking for elephants, big copper deposits. Copper, I'm very bullish on because of the electric vehicle revolution. Everybody sees that coming. What they don't see coming as much is a supply crunch. When that happens, copper's going well over $5 a pound. And if these guys can make a big discovery in Arizona, well, copper's getting stronger. That's another of those perfect kind of setups for a tax loss selling company. So there's my tax loss selling picks, my reasoning for making those picks, and the reason for having a shopping list for the tax loss selling period. I'm expecting all of these companies to perform very well, but as always, my shows are for information purposes only. It's important for you to do your homework and speak with your financial advisors before doing any investing, but do take a look at these companies because I believe once we get into January, they're going to perform a lot better. On that note, have a great day and best of the season to all of you.